announce that the college is closed on the website. So we'll see what happens, and just hopefully that won't be the situation. Hopefully you will have clinical. Question?
I have a question. Either during break or and can you just post all this back up? I just want to double check.
It's posted outside of my office.
Oh, okay.
Okay? As far as where to go, where to meet your clinical instructor, for Princeton Care Center, everybody starts at 5:30. So Princeton Care Center, you meet in the front lobby, and you can park in the parking lot, anywhere in the parking lot except visitor spaces. Do not park in visitor spaces. Hamilton Continuing Care, park in the rear of the parking lot. So when you pull into Hamilton Continuing Care, you want to go to the end of the parking lot, the back end of it, and you want to meet your instructor in the front lobby, either Wednesday or Thursday groups. Meet in the front lobby. And Care 1, you can park wherever, just don't park in a spot that says reserved for somebody. And then again, meet in the front lobby. You are to be in full uniform with your stethoscope and bring your blood pressure cuffs because we are going to review assessment and vital signs first clinical. You will not have a patient assignment the very first week. Okay, but you bring your blood pressure cuff and your watch with a second hand, that's part of your uniform. There'll be an orientation session, and you'll get a tour of the unit, and your clinical instructor is going to assess your assessment and vital signs skills. It will probably not be an 11:30 night, the first clinical night. But the rest of the clinical nights from week 2 on will be till 11:30. Okay, so plan for that. It's not like we let you go at 8 o'clock. You have an hour pre-conference, 4 hours of clinical on hands on the floor, and then an hour of post-conference. Your clinical instructors will review how you prepare for clinical in the orientation. Okay? There are forms in your course outline that are for clinical. One says clinical prep guidelines. You want to print a copy of that out and bring it with you. One says clinical shift report guidelines. You want to print that out and bring it with you. And then your instructor will review that. There is also a clinical evaluation tool, 2 forms, a short version and a long version. The long version gives you specific criteria that we are going to be looking at to evaluate you in clinical. Read it over. The short version, we have copies of it. Your clinical instructor will go over this with you the first week. But this is what we're going to be looking at. These are the objectives, the competencies that we are going to be evaluating you on week after week after week. So shouldn't you know what they are? So this is in your course outline. Please make sure you read them over. You will get your first clinical evaluation at week 8, your final clinical evaluation at week 15. The 2 evaluation periods. Okay? So you really should be aware of what we're looking at, what we're looking for. Professional behavior is number 1 thing, and that means you're going to be in uniform and you're going to be prepared for clinical. So make sure that you have the things that I asked you to have with you. You might want to bring a little notebook to take notes too. Okay? All right, I think that's attendance sheet, PDA, sign-off sheets, clinical. Oh, the evolved case studies. That's the other thing. I gave you a form about how to enroll in the evolved case studies. That was that little booklet I gave you last week. Now, the first thing that I want you to do, we won't get into the case studies a lot. I'll talk a little bit more about them next week. Let's just get everybody enrolled. This is instructions on how you enroll in the case studies courses. Okay, so the booklet should have an access code on the front. When you take the plastic off and open the front page, there's an access code. The site may or may not ask you for the access code. It used to. Last semester it did. But when I printed out the instructions for this semester, it did not say anything about the access code. So while you're doing this, if an access code screen comes up, that's the access code, the one that is inside the booklet. There's another number called the course ID. I gave you the course ID. I wrote it in on that handout that I gave you. Does everybody see it and understand it? It begins with a 1, 6, something, or 1. That's an underscore. Then it says D10, 6, underscore. 40004. That is the course ID number. You will definitely have to enter that. Okay? And then you're enrolled in these case studies until you graduate. So you can utilize them every semester, but there's different ones per level. You're worried about the fundamentals ones. I do have the case studies assigned in your course outline, and we will work on them in lecture as well, but there isn't one for this week. So all I want you to do this week is get yourself enrolled. You do need to have an Evolve login, which you all should have from your HESI exam. Okay? I saw a hand go up.
That was my question, if we had a login from the HESI.
It's the login from the HESI exam to get into the Evolve website. Now you're going to register for the course. But it tells you that you need an Evolve password and username. It does tell you that. Okay? Now, PDA time. Get your PDAs out. I'm going to just show you